saying no was not an option for you as a child, I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to teach you how to get out of that dynamic. My name is Judy Hu. I'm a trauma therapist of 20 years turned boundary coach who helps their clients clear out the impact of childhood inherited ancestral trauma from their nervous systems so they can be free and feel empowered in their lives. If you could not say no to your parents in childhood, I want you to zoom out with a soft focus and a neutral eye, figure out the circumstances in which your parents were parenting you. Were they resourced financially? Were they connected to emotional support? Did they speak the language? Were they happily married? All of those factors are data points and breadcrumbs for you to follow. Most therapists stop there. That's why therapy takes so long. So now I want you to zoom out further. Sidebar, if your therapist has not identified any of your childhood stuff, you need to find another therapist. So now zoom out to the cultural context from which your parents came. You might need to go back generations. So a lot of folks on my caseload are adult children of immigrant parents. Here's a very common thread with many of my clients. High-achieving young woman who is at a business firm, venture capital, law firm, something high-powered, and completely stressed out because they cannot set healthy boundaries. They cannot command respect. Their dads were often doctors or lawyers that came to the US to study, got sponsorship or their green card, wanted to start a family in the US. So went back home to India, got married, brought their wives over, started a family here. Their wives had no contact to their family of origin, no support system, learning a new language, and this was their task, to support their husband and make their family successful. So now, keep zooming out. So the history of India is British colonial rule came, extracted trillions of dollars from the land and from the people. Extracted from the land, extracted from the bodies, used brutal force to make this happen. So what would happen if Indians said no to British colonial rule and said, no, I will not let you take this from our land and from our people? We're seeing it happen right now, right? Saying no felt like betrayal, not because you would get harmed and unalived, but your family and your people would. So remember, trauma decontextualized in a group of people looks like culture. That's from Resmaa Menakem's My Grandmother's Hands. We're on the same page, right? If a small group of people said no to British colonial rule, it would not just harm them, it would harm the people that they were associated to, their families, the communities in which they stood up for. They would get unalived. So I want you to understand the impact in your DNA. If your people came from a land where there was colonialism, the response was murder. Every time I talk about this, my nervous system gets all tingly and activated because this is my ancestry too. This lives in my nervous system, so I actively have to clear it out. Every single time I set a boundary, every single time I align with my wants and values and desires, disappoint someone else, this gets activated in me. When this gets activated in you, you want to set some time aside to just go in visualization, and I'm going to guide you through it. So if you're needing to say no to someone in your life, pick someone easy for this practice, not your boss right now. Maybe imagine the Verizon guy coming to your door and you need to say no to them. Someone like low stakes. Just sit and imagine what happens and comes up in your body. If you feel guilty or bad about yourself, find that feeling in your body, put your hand there, that sensation, and just sit with it. Wait till it dissipates. Just keep breathing. As it shifts, I want you to see if you can float your awareness back to the ancestry that we just talked about. So if you're Irish, you want to go back to the potato famines, what happened again from British colonial rule. You want to connect it. If in case you were part of the people who were oppressive, you're going to also connect there because that might be a reason why you can't set a boundaries because there's so much karma, debt, and guilt in your body. And then as you connect the sensation in your body, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine you're in a bubble of light. It's protective. Do not merge with the experiences of other people in your history or other people that you're imagining right now. Have a very rigid glass boundary around your bubble of light. And then across from you, I want you to see the bubbles of light, the globes of light that represent individual ancestors of your lineage. They're connected to the land, connected to the sun. They're resourced. They are held where they're supposed to be, connected to the land and connected to spirit. And I want you to imagine you bow and you say, I honor your fate. Thank you so much for all the choices that you made, both good and bad, that allowed my life to exist as it is right now. I release every dynamic that does not serve me now. I release my fear. I release my shame. I release the guilt that I am carrying on your behalf. I will not carry it for you anymore, dear ancestors. And as you let it drain, there might be tears, there might be fear, whatever it is, just witness it, because it's another breadcrumb into the next part of what you need to do. Just let it drain, and you're going to feel your nervous system kind of settle and plateau. And then you might need to do that a few times. The corrective thought now is that you're going to replace it with is going forward. I will honor this body. I will be sovereign. I will align with what I want, and I will live freely and empowered in your honor. This gets me every single time because our parents aren't going to understand it, and they don't have to, because you're going to start saying no to them, and they're not going to be happy. Just in case you have very intense feelings, like rage, you want to land that in the right place, which is British colonial rule. You do not want to land it on the bodies. You do not want to land it on the body of your boss, of your partner, of your child. That's the wrong place for this level of intensity. It's historical. It needs to be cleared out very carefully. I want to connect now to that exploration of your history, and I want you to look at the present moment right now, what's happening. Many people can't stand up to authority right now because of this thing that we just explored. I'm going to tell you a real hard fact. If you don't clear this out of your nervous system, for your family, for your future, for your children, and for yourself, what's happening right now is going to continue happening. It's what's known as repetition compulsion. So back to you, in your life, if you cannot say no and embody your boundaries and your power, this dynamic where you're around people who cannot tolerate your no, it will keep happening. Your body is just trying to get you to heal. This collective healing is happening right now, whether or not you want to do the work. If you want help, I have groups that do this. Every single week, we clear out someone's historical trauma, which benefits the collective because it's the same dynamic. I also work with individuals. Just reach out. We'll talk about it. It'll be fine.